Hi, this is David Dusek for Golfweek and Golfweek.com, and Justin Thomas is your winner of the 2020 WGC-FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And a big part of the reason why JT was able to win at TPC Southwind was because of fantastic wedge play. He really was dialed in with his wedges. We know that he's got lots of distance off the tee. We know that he can be a really streaky and really effective putter. But Justin Thomas's wedges, especially on Sunday, led to a number of birdie opportunities that he was able to convert, and that helped him shoot that 65 on Sunday. Justin Thomas has one of the most unique wedge setups of any player I've seen really on the PGA Tour. His pitching wedge and his gap wedge are both Titleist Vokey Design SM7s, but in his sand wedge and his lob wedge, he uses a new SM8. His wedges have very, very detailed lofts, and for example, his 46-degree pitching wedge actually has 47.5 degrees of loft, and his gap wedge, which says 52, is really 52.5. His sand wedge, which says 56, is really 57. And his lob wedge, which says 60, is really 60.5. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you get a half degree? What difference can a half degree actually make? Well, the real story behind that is that Justin Thomas went into the Titleist tour van several years ago and was hitting his wedges great. And he had Aaron Dill, who is the Titleist Vokey Design PGA Tour rep, measure his wedges. He wanted to know exactly what the lofts were at that moment so that whenever he got new wedges, he would get them made exactly to that spec that he had on that specific day. So when Dill measured all the lofts, he found that several of them were off by about a half a degree here or a degree there. And now Justin Thomas's specs are those specific specs. Now the biggest difference between the new Titleist Vokey Design SM8 wedges and the previous version, the SM7, is the positioning of the center of gravity. For a while, Vokey wedges now have had a center of gravity that goes both up and down based on the club's loft. Lob wedges, sand wedges, higher lofted wedges had more mass that was put up near the top, and that elevates the center of gravity, and that helps players hit a little bit more piercing shot. It allows them to flight the ball a little bit more effectively. These gap wedges and the pitching wedges had a slightly lower center of gravity, so they'd be a little bit more iron-like. It's a subtle shift. But what Titleist noticed was that as you get into higher lofts and you add a little bit more mass up at the top, it pulls the center of gravity position back away from the hitting area. And that, in turn, makes it a little bit harder to close the face when players are making a slightly fuller swing. So in order to offset that, they added just a little bit of tungsten to the toe of the club, and they elongated and lengthened out the hosel mechanism. And what that is going to do is shift actually more weight forward towards the face, so the actual center of gravity position on the new SM8 sand wedges and lob wedges projects forward in front of the hitting area. Now you can't hit the center of gravity, it's a theoretical spot, but what it does do is it makes it a lot easier, according to Titleist, to close the face. This face wants to rotate to the square position a lot more easily than previous generations because the weighting on this is going to be different. If Justin Thomas is going to win his second PGA championship this week at TPC Harding Park in San Francisco, you can bet that his wedges, his Titleist Vokey Design SM7 and SM8 wedges, are all going to get a workout.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more videos like this, check out some of our other ones right here. And if you like what you see, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more from USA Today Sports.